This is Chrissy cooking at home. I'm Chrissy. It's surprising, I know. Today is a cooking video. I know the last couple of videos have been life updates, but I'm trying to get back to remembering to film when I'm cooking. The last couple of times I cooked, totally forgot to film it for you. My bad. Today I want to create a rye bread recipe. I've been reading online some rye bread recipes. I don't know why. I have a rye bread recipe. It's pretty good. We like it. I'm kind of bored with it. So been reading some other people's ideas, and now I'm going to kind of combine a couple of other ladies' ideas with my recipe, and we're going to wing it and see what happens. So if you're watching this, it turned out to be a decent loaf of bread. So you ready to get started? Okay, I think I have everything gathered. I think. You know what? I don't. Missing something very important. Cannot be without. Okay. Where's my bread hook? There's my bread hook. I call it bread hook. It's the dough hook. Surely you knew what I meant. I have my paddle attachment too. I have my oven set to bread proof. Moved you back a little. Not enough. In the oven, warming, is a ceramic Dutch oven, and its lid, I'm going to let it do its second rise and bake in this. So just putting that in the oven, keeping it warm. Because today for dinner will be a ham and yellow split pea soup. I have a ham bone left over from a picnic ham I had gotten that we're going to use. But that's besides the point. That's not this video. Why am I talking about it? But that's what the bread is for, is the soup. So what ingredients do we have to create this bread? Well, I have some AP flour. Come here. Okay. You can kind of see my mixer, my lovely beast. Okay, so I have my AP flour. I have some rye flour. The only thing I can get in the store at the moment is some King Arthur organic classic medium rye flour. That's what I got. I have some honey, some everything bagel seasoning, some pickles, bear with me, dry milk, yeast, measuring devices. You know what we need? It's back here. Some salt. So your basics, right? So we're going to create this together, lovelies. Off some stuff that I read off the internet. My knowledge of making bread. And hopefully my brain will not fail me, and we will make some lovely, creative rye bread. Shall we? Let's get started. So we'll start with this. Okay, so we're going to this has been in the fridge. So we're going to warm up some pickle juice in the microwave. So let's see how much we get. So I don't want the pickles. I'm just going to put my finger, block the pickles. How much juice are we going to get? Almost a cup. I needed about a cup of liquid. So I'm just going to top this off with water, and then I'm going to stick it in the microwave for about 30 seconds until we get about lukewarmish water. Usually you want about 115 degrees, so BRB. Okay, so that took some doing because I wanted to be very careful not to overheat the pickle juice. And I decided at the same time that I did want some kind of fat mixed into the dough. I was contemplating between olive oil, butter, olive oil, vegetable oil, some kind of fat. So I went with butter. So I melted 2 tablespoons of butter. It's mostly melted. I didn't want to make it too hot. So that took some doing because I didn't want to overheat the pickle juice. But with my instant read thermometer, I got up to 117. That is perfectly fine. 117. Between 115 and 120 is your goal for yeast. You don't want to do too hot because you will kill your poor yeast. So I'm going to do the pickle juice, the butter, and then the yeast. I'm going to do my tablespoon. I just love the smell of pickle juice. Now, spritz my 1 tablespoon with nonstick spray. Do some honey in there. 1 tablespoon. 2 tablespoons. It comes out easier. Honey, you know, it's sticky. So we're going to give this a little mix with my spoon here. Now you're thinking pickle juice, vinegar, salt. How is that yeast gonna grow? It's gonna retard. I know. That's what I'm thinking too, but I saw a recipe that suggested it. So we're going to find out. We're going to find out together. You know what this smells like with the honey and the pickle juice? It kind of smells like bread and butter pickles right now. That's what it smells like. Alright, so we're done with the honey. We're done with pickles. Put those aside with the yeast. Alright, so are we going to need salt? I say yes. I do not want this to overgrow. Now, the milk powder does have some sugars in it, naturally, because milk naturally has some sugars in it. So, I just want to let this sit for a minute. I just want to see what's going to happen. If anything's going to happen. I don't know if anything's going to happen. This may be a complete failure. I don't know. Because the idea is ridiculous, to be honest. Pickle juice and yeast bread instead of water. Ridiculous. That's good enough. We'll see what happens in the rising process. Okay, lovelies. let's get to it. So milk powder's not going in first. That'll just be an absolute catastrophe. So we're going to do our AP first, our all-purpose. We're going to do 2 cups to start with of the AP. We're going to need more of that. Don't put that away. And then we're going to do a cup of rye. And that's really all the rye you're going to need is a cup. Whatever rye you can get your hands on, okay? So I'll put that aside. Okay. So crank her up. I've already plugged her in, I think. Yeah. Now, salt. We need salt. I think we do. Kind of doing guesswork here. So I'm only going to do half a teaspoon. Was it 1 cup of water? Or was it 2 cups? Well, we got to get the non-fat milk in there. It's kind of shaggy right now. That's kind of the stage you want to get it. 1/3 cup. I should have pulled out my rye bread recipe. I'm going off of what I read on the internet. And that was at 4 o'clock this morning. It's now 10. Okay, it's still shaggy, so I'm adding 2 tablespoons or 1/8 cup of everything bagel seasoning. Done with salt. That was kosher salt. I have a feeling this is going to be a catastrophe. Now that it's combined, still kind of sticky and shaggy. Okay. Smells interesting. Does not smell like bread and butter pickle anymore. It smells like a pickly everything bagel. How much more AP flour? Maybe none. Okay, so it's been kneading for 6 minutes in the bowl. We're going to feel, it feels good. So we're just going to make it into a ball. And then we're going to put it into a greased bowl and let it proof in the oven. The oven has a proof function. So if you can just put it into a warm place. a towel. Cover it with a clean towel. I never have luck with that plastic wrap thing people do. I've been a towel girl my whole life of making breads. All right, so into the oven. The proofing function. So I'm going to let it proof. I'm going to check it in about 30 minutes because my proofing function really speeds things up. So there you are. If you're doing it on your counter and it's fairly warm in your kitchen, check it in an hour. If it's fairly cool in your kitchen, check it in like an hour and a half. I think we're going for your basic bread, doubled in size. Don't let it overproof. If it overproofs, punch it down, make it into a ball, try again. You can try again if it overproofs, but you gotta try it again. Don't make it into a loaf and then bake it. Try again. So we're gonna put it in there and I'm gonna check it in 30 minutes and I'll bring you back for that, okay? Okay, so 30 minutes was a joke. 2.5 hours later, it has doubled. It's not a huge double. It's not a bubbling over double, but you can tell it is twice the size it was when we put it in. See? Now that's from all the sodium, all the salt in the pickle juice, I'm sure. And plus we added that little bit of kosher, so that way it didn't overgo. So we probably could have done without that kosher. So now we are going to take her out. I put parchment in my dish we're going to bake her in. We are going to kind of flatten her out, knead her a little bit. We're going to do a second rise. So that's probably going to take a few hours too. But we're going to do it inside this dish, this stoneware Dutch oven. It's very soft dough. Very soft dough now. Not as firm at all. It smells amazing. Oh, it smells amazing with that pickle juice in there. Oh my goodness. Okay, we'll see what happens. I'm gonna flatten her out to almost the entirety of the stoneware and see what happens. And I put parchment in instead of greasing. I went back and forth with that, so. Okay, now. What we're gonna do, I think we're gonna slice. Sharp knife. We're just gonna do a simple put a lid on it after we make a bunch of noise, after I got the baby down for a nap. That's great, Chrissy. And then we're going to put this back in the oven to proof for another, well, let's say 2 hours and see what happens. And I'll bring you back and we'll see what she looks like and then we'll discuss baking it. Because, like I said, kind of winging it. I'm going to pull out my rye bread recipe, which I should have done a while ago, and see what temperature and time. Usually I bake my sourdough in this ceramic Dutch oven. This is from Pampered Chef, but we're gonna do this one, so I'll bring you back. Okay, so the bread I believe has proofed enough. It has proofed for 2 more hours in the Dutch oven. What do you think? Can you tell that she's risen? When I took the lid off to look at her closely, I could just smell the everything bagel seasoning. and the pickle juice. And let me tell you, the smell is amazing. This, I bet, is going to be an amazing loaf of bread. I need more pickles. Because I need more pickle juice. I think this might be a new favorite of mine. So I'm preheating the oven to 450. I want a nice hot oven. Very, very hot oven, I decided. And we're going to do 15 minutes on with lid on and then 15 minutes lid off. And we're going to see how she does. We might bake her longer with lid off. I don't know. We may slide her out of the Dutch oven. I don't know. We'll see. So my oven is preheating. I have a frog in my throat. I do not know why. I can't get it to clear. The oven's preheating. I will bring you back when it is fully baked and on a rack cooling. Now I'll bring you back when it's fully baked and cooled and I'm cutting into it and tasting it for the first time. Okay? So, and I'll let you know how long I completely baked her for. Definitely 15 with lid on. How much longer after lid off, and if I take her out of the Dutch oven to bake, I'll let you know. Okie dokie. We're doing this together. We're in this together. Okay, so for the bread, it is now being called the Everything Dill Rye bread. I baked it 15 minutes with the lid on. Daddy's getting her, don't worry. And then I set the timer for 15 minutes with the lid off. And then I got distracted and it did not come out in 15 minutes. So it got a little extra well done. Ta-da! It's a little extra well done than I would have liked. So it probably could have come out at 12, honestly, just by looking at it. But, I mean, it smells amazing, even though it's a little darker than what I would have liked. Just saying. So it's been cooling for a while. It's still warm, but it's time to eat, so we're going to cut it. I would have liked it to be completely cool. I don't know how gummy it's going to be. Let's see how the crumb is. It's not gummy. Look at that. It's beautiful. It looks like a beautiful loaf of bread. It is a little hole in there. That's okay. That's from where I rolled it up. I didn't get the pocket. That's okay. It's just for my family. I'm not selling this. My family does not care. Oh, somebody woke up from her nappy. Scared. All right. Oh, wow. Okay. So, that's out of this freaking world. I wanted to say a different word there. And that's even with eating the well done top. I love the tang of the pickle juice. I wouldn't mind extra everything bagel seasoning in there. This is going to be amazing with the soup I made that's behind me. If you try this, please let me know. Please. Please. I love it. Oh my gosh, do I love it. I'm so glad I was adventurous today, and I'm so glad I brought you along to be adventurous with me today. It's a cold day today. A winter storm went around us. We didn't get any snow. We were supposed to get like 8 inches of snow. We got none. Thank you for coming with me today. So glad you came along. Until next time, lovelies.